You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report, episode 154.1, our daily report on all things Central Indiana sports, and a little bit of national sports news as well.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you've chosen to listen to the Central Indiana Sports Report. We could not be more thrilled to have you along for the ride. Today is January 21st, 2025. It's a Tuesday, so it's another day for the Central Indiana Sports Report. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt, and I love Central Indiana sports. Coming to you today from headquarters in Jeffersonville, producer Susie is in the control room. The daily report is our main segment every day where we will give you all of the scores and highlights. Then, of course, we'll also have local basketball, local wrestling, local swimming reports, as well as IU, Purdue, Pacers, Colts, Will Rutherford's 5 questions that need answers, our college football report, things like that throughout the day, every day. The daily report is usually released overnight or first thing in the morning, but today is an exception. There are no rules. And if there are rules, I make the rules. So. Ohio State won the first college football playoff by beating Notre Dame 34-23 in Atlanta on Monday evening. Notre Dame went on an 18-play touchdown drive to start the game and led 7-0 at the end of the first quarter, but the Buckeyes scored a touchdown on all 3 of their second quarter drives. Freshman Jeremiah Smith scored on an 8-yard touchdown reception from Will Howard to complete the Buckeyes' first drive. Smith, a true freshman, finished with 100 yards receiving. Quinshon Judkins scored 2 touchdowns and had a 70-yard run and dominated the second quarter, to be honest. And Ohio State led 21-7 at the half. Judkins finished with 100 yards on just 11 carries. Will Howard completed 17 of his 21 passes and threw for 2 touchdowns. Jaden Greenhouse caught 6 passes for 128 yards and 2 touchdowns in the second half to lead a Notre Dame comeback attempt. Riley Leonard threw for 255 yards and 2 touchdowns and ran for another 40 yards and a score. The final AP poll was released Tuesday morning. Of course, Ohio State is number 1 and Notre Dame is number 2. The Big Ten had 3 of the top 5, and Indiana finished 10th. Oregon was 3rd, Texas 4th, and Penn State finished 5th in the final poll. The only local sports Monday was Ball State's women's impressive 77-63 win over second-place Toledo. It's the 9th consecutive win for the Cardinals, who are now 15-4 overall and 7-0 in the MAC. That's 2.5 games better than Kent State, Buffalo, and Western Michigan, who are all tied for second. Toledo was second, but now falls 3 games behind the Cardinals and a half game behind Western Michigan, Kent State, and Buffalo. The Rockets led 11-4 early, and then it was all Ball State from there. In fact, they scored 30 of the game's next 40 points to lead 38-28 at halftime. It was more of the same in the second half as the Cardinals pulled away throughout the second half. They led by as many as 19 points in the second half. Senior Allie Beckley was 11 for 14 from the field and led all scorers with 26 points. She also had 9 assists. Lachelle Austin added 18 and Alex Richard 12 in the win. The Cardinals go to 7-10 Northern Illinois on Saturday at 2. Ball State is 5-1 on the road this season. The only loss was at number 11 Ohio State. They've won 4 in a row away from home. Their next home game is February 1st after going to Ohio next Wednesday. A couple of local men's college basketball games on Tuesday night. 8-9 Ball State is at 8-9 Central Michigan. That game is at 7 o'clock and can be seen on ESPN+. And at 7:30 on the Peacock app, number 11 Purdue puts its 7-game winning streak on the line when the Ohio State Buckeyes visit Mackey Arena. We will have the score and highlights from that win on Wednesday's Daily Report. Coming off a big win over Ohio State on Friday, Indiana's men go to Northwestern on Wednesday. The NFL playoffs resume Sunday with the NFC and AFC championship games in Kansas City and Philadelphia. First, the Eagles host Washington at 3 on Fox. The Eagles are 6-point favorites. Then the two-time defending champion Chiefs host Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills in the AFC championship game. That game is at 6:30 on CBS. The Chiefs are considered 2-point favorites by the odds makers. And on Tuesday, the Bears hired former Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson as their next head coach. On Tuesday, the Indiana Mad Ants are in Tempe, Arizona to face the Valley Suns. The Ants are 7-4 and in 5th place in the East. The Suns are 5-6 and in 8th in the West. The game tips at 9 and can be seen on ESPN+. IU Kokomo sophomore Sydney Duncan from Frankton is the River State's Athlete of the Week after she had a shot put of 15 meters, 0.64. That's over 51 feet. That is the best in the nation so far this winter. She did that at the Bob Eubanks Open in Middletown, Ohio. She also won the weight throw and is now qualified for the NAIA Indoor Nationals in Gainesville in both events. Fisher's freshman Millen McCartney has committed to play basketball at Indiana Wesleyan. He's averaging 9.4 points for the top-ranked Tigers. Lapel star junior Lania Wills announced on Twitter that she received a scholarship offer from Coastal Carolina. Meredith Tipner of Noblesville and Maya Mikulski of Hamilton Southeastern have both been named McDonald's All-American West nominees. To Tuesday's local high school schedule, it's very brief and most of what we had has been postponed. The only boys basketball game that we believe is going to be played is 5-6 Mississinewa at winless Wabash. Taylor at Frankton was scheduled for Tuesday, has been moved to Saturday, February 8th. Daleville at Eastbrook was postponed with no make-up date yet. The games we believe are being played in girls basketball tonight, a couple of big ones. Oak Hill puts its 14-game winning streak on the line at Marion, and Sheridan puts its 14-game winning streak on the line when it goes to Guerin Catholic. All of the games that are being played are scheduled for 6 p.m. JV with the varsity to follow. Some definite postponements. Yorktown's senior night game against Frankton has been postponed with no makeup date yet announced. We will let you know as soon as we know on all of these postponements and their makeup dates. Delta and Daleville has also been postponed with no makeup date. Lapel and Pendleton, the Madison County rivalry game, was scheduled for Tuesday. It was moved just one day to Wednesday. Tipton at Kokomo at Pierce has been canceled. And West Dell versus Southern Wells has been rescheduled for Thursday, January 30th. Madison Grant Kokomo Wrestling has been moved back a day to Wednesday. That one's at Kokomo. And Elwood Lapel Wrestling has been moved to next Monday. Again, on our daily report, every day we will have all cancellations, postponements, makeup dates. This is the segment that you're going to want to listen to if you want to be up to date on everything Central Indiana, again, with a little bit of national news. Of course, we have almost daily updates on the Pacers on the daily report. However, they are traveling to Paris right now, and there is no news. They will face Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs on Thursday and Saturday in a couple of games in Paris. The game Thursday is at 2 o'clock and can be seen on NBA TV. Saturday's game is at noon and can be seen on ESPN. And now you know everything we know about Central Indiana sports. Thanks for listening. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, or follow us on your favorite podcasting host, or now also on YouTube, so you don't miss a single segment. and it would be very helpful to us if you would tell a friend about the Central Indiana Sports Report. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. And I love Susie.